So I'm going to tell you a story, and just stick with me here because like the point I'm trying to make is not about Theodore Roosevelt. Okay, so Theodore Roosevelt was like this dude, right? 1800s, and he has a wife and a mother, and they die the same day of different causes. Mom dies of typhoid fever, and wife dies in childbirth. The same day that his mother and wife die, he has his firstborn daughter, and he is obviously grief-stricken. This is a horrible tragedy, like so much in one day. Can you imagine? It's just awful, truly. And he gives his daughter to be cared for by his sister because he is overcome with his grief and he can't handle caring for his daughter. And he goes to the Badlands of South Dakota, and like that's like where he like heals and like works on a ranch, and he like remembers who he is, and he finds his place in the world again, and he heals from this horrible thing and devastating loss. He goes on to become like the president, and as that presidency happens, he also like is a part of like starting the national parks in America. He had been like influenced by his time in the Badlands, and that's an incredible journey, right? Like you went from like all of this loss and you turned your pain into like something that was like your story was not defined by this grief and this day. Instead, you went on to become like this very powerful catalyst for change, and amazing. The point I want to make though, and I think this gets lost because I saw a creator tell the story and I was like, wow, I didn't know that about good old Teddy. But what I think is crazy is if a woman had an immense loss the day her child was born, lost her husband and her father, and gave her child to her brother to care for, and she was like, I'm going to go to the Badlands and I'm going to process my grief, you would villainize this woman. We would think she was, abandoned her child, that she isn't a good mother because she left. And the whole story, even if she went on to create the national park system and become the first woman president, the story would be framed as like she abandoned her child. She didn't actually love her. She's a bad mom. There are no rules when it comes to grief and processing our pain. If you need to go to the Badlands, you can go to the Badlands. Teddy got to. What I wonder is what kind of women might emerge after a season in the Badlands. After a season where they had room to process, heal, and understand their grief and their sorrow. What they could emerge as. What miraculous, life-changing, world-changing work could happen if women were given the same opportunities as men. I love you. And I think you can make something beautiful. I think you're something beautiful already. I love you so much.